Someone watching TV.
Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you. Eagles
You don't
fans
play the intro
everywhere,
though.
this is for you. Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you.
Not gonna work. I tried so hard. Either way, we are live. We out here. Y'all know what time it is. It's your boy Joe Castro, Philly Fresco, Philly the podcast. We are just waiting on Rod. Rod will be in here in a minute. I do appreciate everybody that is checking in. But you know what time it is. We here with my boy Brandon, and I do have a special. I wouldn't say special, but we got a guest. We got a guest. My homeboy Nate. What's good, brother?
Hey, what's going on, baby? Go Cowboys.
He didn't waste no time. What's good, Brandon?
How's it going, man?
Chilling. So let's kick right into it, man. We're not gonna. I know a lot of you guys are probably gonna come in here to watch, the fight occur. That's gonna happen, I'm pretty sure. But we're gonna start off with some NFL. Obviously, on Philly side, you heard the big news as Andre Dillard just got injured. I'm sure as a Cowboys fan, you're not, obviously nobody ever wishes for someone to get hurt, but it's not the worst news you've heard this week. But I want to kind of project that towards, obviously the Cowboys lost Gerald McCoy too. So it's kind of an eye for an eye. It kind of sucks. I kind of want to hear you guys' thoughts. We'll start with Brandon and work our way down. Just kind of your initial thoughts, maybe on both situations.
I mean, obviously, for at least the Eagle side of things, losing Dillard, it sucks because he hasn't really gotten a chance to prove himself. He had to sit behind Jason Peters last year, kind of wait for his turn and everything like that. And now his turn's here. He had an iffy camp so far, throwing his helmet on the ground and having some anger issues. But then to get hurt like this kind of sucks. And then, it sucks for Dillard. And then it's like, do we put JP back at left tackle, or do we give Jordan I don't even know how to say his last name, Mailata, I don't know. Either give Jordan a chance or put Matt Pryor out there. I mean, he's saying he's ready. They're both saying they're ready. So I have confidence in them. I know our offensive line coach, he's been coaching them up and everything. So I have faith, but it's definitely going to be tricky now that Dillard is hurt.
Man, in terms of everything, when McCoy went down, it's like, you go buy that toy from Walmart that you're excited about and you get home and it's broken already. You didn't get to play with it. That's how I felt. You know what I'm saying? So now that it's all over and done with, we never had him. We don't know what it was going to be like. So it's time to move on, unfortunately. So, you can't really harp on that. But in terms of like what you said, injury-wise, you never hope nobody gets hurt. But that left tackle, Dillard, going down, I'm not going to lie. Hey, I'm ready for Griffin and Lawrence to eat. So I'm all for it. And I hope these contract talks that Peters is bringing up that, hey, put me at left tackle, pay me more because I'm going to be your left tackle. I hope that causes a little riffraff between the ownership and him. So, at least for the Cowboys side of things,
That actually brings up a good point because I posted and some of the groups we're in together as well, and it blew up. Some people are saying no, heck no. Some people are saying yes, he's done so much for the team. I've said this, in private with Brandon, and it's like I feel he's been a little bit selfish. I even wrote an article about it. That's how adamant I am about it. But I feel like he's being a little bit selfish. Like you said, like it is going to cause a rift, whether he gets it or not. To be honest, like that's money that we need. So just kind of like playing off of that, what were your thoughts on that, Brandon? Because I do kind of want to hear what you were thinking.
Right. So, I mean, I would have to go look at the numbers. Can we afford to give him more money this season? Would it hurt that bad? Are we like saving money for like maybe if an injury or COVID or something happens mid-season and that would cause a rift then? I see both sides, to be honest. I mean, if you look at it from like the standpoint of people saying he's done so much for us, he really has been. He's been one of the best free agent or pickups that we've had the last decade. He's literally been the bodyguard. He's one of the top left tackles in the league, even at this age. His ranking was pretty high up there, considering that he's like 38 years old or something along those lines. And so it's tough. It's like we got to play smart because we do need some money for maybe a free agent pickup down the line. I know Clowney's still a free agent. I know Kev just said in the comments, where do you think Clowney goes? I mean, he's still a free agent. So I mean, you could always use the money for other things, but at the same time, I wouldn't want to disrespect Jason Peters for everything he's done and then be like, no, we're not going to give you a little bit of extra bump for playing a super important position that obviously gets paid the most along the all of offensive line.
Now, I want to ask you something, Nate. Like, as far as, because, you guys got three stars, I guess we can say, on the defensive line now. But me and you have had this conversation. I want to know how far that depth goes. Who do you have after that? Because I can't name, your guys, I'm sure you can't name my bench players, so I'm not, saying it to talk junk. But how far does that Dallas D-line go?
Well, we got Crawford coming back, which he's a veteran for us, but he was hurt last year. I think the key factor is the rookie that we drafted last year, Hill. He was a big disappointment. I mean, at least out here in Dallas radio and stuff, they're not going to talk about him nationally, but they were saying like the Taco Charlton type of scenario, like, hey, it's time to move on type of thing if you don't get his stuff together already. Right. So if Crawford can come back from his injury and play the role, which he can play inside, outside, he can play in DN. So he's versatile in that sense. And we drafted a new rookie this year that's supposed to be a big dog in terms of the, filling up the gaps in the run game. So with that being said, on paper, it all sounds good, but when they get down to reality, we'll see what happens.
Definitely. Now, do you think the Dallas Cowboys should or shouldn't get Clowney? Where's your stance on that?
Man, I don't think we should. I like Griffin. I like Lawrence. You get a guy like Griffin, I think, everybody says his age and everything like that, but the same thing that showed last year when we brought Robert Quinn in. Sometimes you just need a new home, get excited to play again, strap up. You're playing for the Cowboys. You're going to be on national television, whether everybody likes it or not. So you got something to be hyped up about. And I think you just keep it like that with our rotational guys. Don't get me wrong. We got Clowney. I'll be the first one to post up. We got Clowney. Let's go.
Yeah, facts.
But I think that's too much talent on the defensive line.
Yeah, I think the Cowboys basically said once they grab Griffin is that they're not going to go for Clowney. I mean, that's how I look at it. Like, if you're going to spend the money on a free agent, I know Clowney plays outside linebacker, but he's basically a 3-4 defensive end. So once you get Griffin, it's kind of saying, like, this is who we're going to stick with. And, I mean, there must be some reason why Clowney asking for less money is still not on a team. I don't know what it is, but maybe he just can't live off that college highlight of popping that dude up the middle anymore. I don't know.
See, and let's stay on the free agent wave. Just like you said, I don't know what it is. And now we're hearing reports with Earl Thomas that he's getting people are wary of going towards that whole contract now that he got released, which is kind of surprising to me as well. Sometimes, talent supersedes personality in a lot of cases, especially in some franchises. So, what do you guys think about that? Are you guys looking at Earl Thomas? Is it kind of a dead situation at this point? Where do you think he might end up?
You can go ahead, Brandon.
I mean, I think I assume that Earl Thomas was going to go to the Cowboys. I assumed they would have been a done deal already since the whole "come get me, bro" like a couple of years ago. You would have thought that that's where he would have been immediately, but there has to be a reason. I mean, the Cowboys, if I'm not mistaken, you guys still need safety help. So I don't know why he's not signed yet. There has to be maybe some rift, money issues. Maybe they're just delaying it a little bit, trying to figure out contract stuff, then announcing something. But unless Earl has been through a lot, though, with that post you made about, like, him getting caught up with his wife, with her pulling a gun out on him, and then with all this, getting into fights, people saying that he's late to practice and not following assignments and all that. Maybe there's more to things than we see as fans, that we just assume this is just a top-notch, a little older player, but he's still good, but there's things in the background that coaches and ownerships are sharing with each other that it's just like, nah.
Man, we all know this. the Cowboys always getting problem childs. We know this. Jerry
I kind of took a shot, but I didn't want to say it.
Jerry need to go send that jet to wherever Earl Thomas is, have it land in Dallas, and get him number 29, and let's go. As simple as that.
Adam Rod,
What's
too.
going on,
brother?
fellas?
Hey, how's it going, Rod?
Oh, I like that
Nothing
shirt
much,
you got
nothing
on, bro. I
much,
like that shirt.
Hey, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, all right, we got Kev Thomas. Kev said that he thinks he's going to San Francisco. I like Brandon said, I agree with him 100%. And I agree with you, Nate. I just didn't want to say it, didn't want to talk junk too early. But I definitely thought the Cowboys by now would have got him, especially, I doubt that he's going to be expensive as far as like, a contract. I'm sure he just kind of wants to get on the field and prove some people wrong. Keeping on that, we're going to keep on the free agency train. You guys all saw the Yannick deal. Yannick Ngakoue got traded to Minnesota.
Yo,
that was ridiculous.
Yes,
that was ridiculous.
Minnesota.
I don't understand why we didn't go after him.
For real. Like, who wants to take it first? Y'all can go, because I'm going to probably ramble as soon as I talk, because I'm pissed about that. I'm not even going to lie.
Go ahead, Brandon.
All right. Well, I mean, if you look at it from the Vikings standpoint, they just got younger at defensive end. Like, they went ahead. They didn't re-sign Griffin. We just talked about him going to the Cowboys. But now they got Yannick, who's younger and who's ready to eat, because I believe this is his contract year now too. Like, this is his final year before he wants his big deal. So, I mean, good for them. I don't understand why. I don't know if Howie didn't want to do it, or maybe he just values those second round picks heavy, even though we all know what we did with a second round pick, but maybe he just values them way heavier and figured we wouldn't be able to pay Yannick in the future. So why waste a second round talent that we could use on the field for about 4 years than maybe someone we can't afford after this year?
No, I definitely agree. What do you think, Rod? How you felt about that Yannick situation?
Man, if I'm being honest, bro, I'm low-key being a hater, bro. I hate that we didn't go after him for what Minnesota, gave away to get him. Howie is known for making crazy deals like that, and I just I understand from the money standpoint, but at the same time, I mean, why not go after him for the talent standpoint? I mean, they got next to nothing for him.
And he took a cut. He took a pay cut. He took a pay cut. I think he's making like $4 million less this year.
Wow. See, me personally, I'm a hater because I know we got to play Minnesota, and I'm not sure that our offensive line is going to be able to handle that, especially with Diller going out. You know what I mean? So I feel like I don't have. I'm kind of mad about it, but I mean, like Brandon said, congratulations to Minnesota for making that trade, making things happen. But as a fan, Eagles fan, I'm worried for our offensive line.
How you feeling, Nate?
Man, you know what? To be honest with you, I'm not too worried about Minnesota. They figure out a way to mess it up. They're just the unspoken. They're the unspoken version of the Cowboys. I mean, let's just call it what it is. The Cowboys, we be hyping ourselves up, we be good and everything, and you think Minnesota's right on track to do something, and then they just implode in the wrong time. So it's just they don't have the national spotlight that the Cowboys do. But I think he's just on a 1 year. They're on a rental player. I don't think they're going to pay him. I think he's going to walk and go somewhere else, personally.
I mean, even for that price, I wouldn't be totally upset. Like I said, they didn't give. Other than that second round, I mean, that's a lot, but you're not getting a better player in the second round, most likely. Like, you
don't know that.
So, I mean, most likely, you know what I mean? Like, Yannick wasn't a second round player. Like, we'll put it that way. But either way, like I said, he took less to be there. I wanted him. I think it's BS that we didn't go after him. I understand that, like Waylon said, that we have to pay some people. We need to pay Ertz, we need to pay Peters, but at the same time, I'm happy that Cowboys didn't get him. I'll say that from the jump. That's a definite. But we definitely should have went after him. It's just ridiculous. Like, like he said, Howie's known for making big moves, but lately he's been kind of gun shy. If it's maybe it's just me, but
and that's what I have a question for you and maybe Rod and they can answer too. It's just what trades has Howie really done that have really stuck for the longer term lately? Like you look at the Golden Tate trade, that was kind of a waste. We didn't even use him right. And then Jay Ajayi was a nice addition, but I mean, I feel like this unspoken hero that season when we won the Super Bowl was more LeGarrette Blount than Jay Ajayi. Like we could have got away with probably having Blount, Clement, and whoever was healthy at that time. Those are the only two trades I can think of the last couple of years that Howie's really done that it sounded good, and Jordan Howard, but Jordan Howard's not on the team either. So I mean, I mean, it sounds like Howie's like, damn, he's a genius, he did it again. But then we're getting these players that we don't even retain. So why go ahead?
He's made good he's made good draft trades. I'll say that much. You know, as far as draft last year, even moving back and being able to recoup so many picks and still be able to get kind of players that we needed. He's at least done that. But I agree with you 100%. He has not really done that well. Are you guys reading this comment that I'm reading?
Is Wentz hurt? I'm hearing he has a lower body injury. I can't tell if that's legit or if he's just trolling.
I don't know. Why Sway usually doesn't lie. So when he's saying Wentz is on the injury list, he's expected to play week 1. Weren't they just playing a scrimmage? They're just scrimmaging.
I was. One thing I heard the other day, bro, like I heard that somebody ran into his knee, but it wasn't nothing serious.
Yeah, Dillard's freaking an idiot. He said Sam Bradford trade was money. Sam Bradford trade. I don't know. The Sam Bradford trade ended up working out just because you got a first-round pick out of him somehow. That's really the only reason that worked out.
Yeah, I think
he was all right.
I think from the outside looking in, I don't know much about, I don't keep up with the Eagles like that, but I don't ever go after the big name like that. But what I will say is, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but y'all GM Howie always gets you on a position to be able to get somebody.
Yeah.
You guys never worry about salary cap. Y'all don't ever have to worry about any of that because he's always restructuring deals, moving pieces around to make y'all in contention for the Clownies of the world and things like that. So I think that's scary as a Cowboys fan because you just never know. I might wake up one day, Bleacher Report, y'all sign Clowney because it's possible. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. So I think that I give him credit for that.
For sure.
It's a lot of rumors. Our media is like, our media is crazy. But I will say Howie is very good at what he does. Do not get me wrong. And I think
I'm not talking.
Gold chip. His gold chip is more so like. I feel like his gold chip is more so like his the way that he finagles the salary cap. That's really what puts him, separates him from other teams. That's really what gets me about him. I'm hoping Wentz is okay, but we'll see. And then my boy Snapback Jug says, why can't we never watch the full practices other NFL teams show them? If you go on YouTube, the Eagles actually live stream most of their practices.
If you follow them on Facebook too.
Yeah, on Facebook as well. That's true. So you can actually watch most of them. Just like the scrimmage today is actually being streamed right now.
Is it really?
Yeah, I don't know if this guy really. Now I'm wondering if he got hurt like during the game. But anyways, let's switch from football real quick. I want to ask you guys a question about everything going on with basketball and them postponing or not playing the playoff game last night. And then obviously they went back. But what were your initial thoughts and just like feelings when that happened?
I'll let Nate take this one. He had a pretty good post on Facebook about it.
Man, initially, at first, I'll be honest with you, I was like, man, what's the point? Like, and when I mean by that, not disrespectfully, but I meant, what is not playing professional sports going to do? Then I kind of mulled it over and thought about it, and it's like a 2.0 version of what Kaepernick did. All Kaepernick was doing was bringing awareness, right? He was bringing awareness. He knew what he was doing wasn't going to stop anything, but he was bringing it to everybody's attention. So when the world stops and the NBA stops or NFL stops and the WNBA stops, NHL, baseball, they stop playing, people are going to wonder why. And that alone is what they were doing, and that brought attention to the scenario. So I was 100% for it. A lot of people, there's always opinions on it and whatnot, but I think using their platform, people are saying, hey, they should be going out there and protesting with it. I mean, come on. What happens if the next day LeBron James gets hurt in a protest because you got somebody acting up because he wanted to be hands-on? You got to be real with the situation and be realistic. He can't just go in there in the field like that. He's LeBron James, you know what I'm saying? So exactly. I think what they did worked in a sense for bringing attention and awareness to it, like what Kaepernick did.
Yeah, and I agree 100% with you, Nate. I mean, that was a perfect way to put it. I mean, at the end of the day, they're human too. They're not robots out there. They have feelings. They have their opinions. And we're not even like talking like, oh, which one would you rather do, A or B? This is human equality that we're talking about here. Like, we're just trying to have everyone be equal, everyone be fair. It's unfortunate that people make it political when it shouldn't be. It should be just as easy as, listen, this is happening at an alarming rate, and we want things to change. It's not much else to it. We need help. We need change. This has been going on for a very long time, and we need all of our brothers and sisters from other races and everything like that to help stand up with us. That's all we're asking. That's it. I don't understand why it's so hard and complicated for people.
Yeah, I feel like, in a way, I feel like they did a good thing, but in a way, I feel like they didn't. I feel like if you're going to stand up and, preach to everybody that this has to change, especially when you're an athlete and you're on the pedestal, you can't just, I feel like when they boycotted one game, I feel like that didn't do anything. That's kind of pointless. You know what I mean? Like, what's the point of going and playing or sitting out 1 or 2 games and then you go right back to doing what you do? Now, granted, you know what I mean? These athletes, just like Nate said, they're humans. They're regular people too. You know what I'm saying? They make their money. They got their business they got to do too. But at the same time, that's just like, you can't get mad when the NBA decides they're going to take your paycheck because you want to go and boycott, because looking at it from a regular 9-to-5 guy like us, if we say, if we call our jobs and say, hey, we going to the protest, they're not going to say, oh yeah, that's fine. We'll pay you to go and you're cool. Don't worry about it. You're going to have to use vacation time, or you're going to have to call out and not get paid at all. So I feel like that's how they should look at it. Just because they make a certain amount of money doesn't entitle them to keep earning that money and still be able to go out and protest just because of who they are. And then the NBA, I think they pledged like $300 million over 10 years. And when you really break down the math, bro, that's literally $1 million a team every year. That's nothing. When you're making each owner is worth $1 billion, $500 million, $600, $700, $800 million. What's $1 million a year to them? Like $10, $20 to us. So why can't these teams donate $10 million a piece a year? Why can't they donate $100 million a year instead of $300 million over 30 years? That's only $10 million or $30 million a year. That's $1 million a team. That's not much. When you look at the statistics and you look at the TV ratings and all this stuff that these NBA teams, these NFL teams, NHL teams, MLB teams, all the revenue they generate from all across the world, and all you can donate is $1 million a team per year. Like I feel like that's kind of selfish.
I personally never knew that. Real quick, shout out to Wiseway. He did send me the Carson Wentz thing. It is a soft tissue injury. They are just being cautious. He is day to day. Also, quick shout out to Philly Talk Podcast. Philly Mike, what's up? I see you. I appreciate you coming in. And Eagle season, what's good, bro? Good timing. I didn't have to stop again. But I definitely agree. I feel like it's all perspective. A lot of people, my biggest thing is, and my biggest statement is, tell me what's right. Tell me what way can we cause attention? What way can we gain attention without it being, disrespectful to the flag, disrespectful to this person, that person. On an individual basis, I love what, the individual players are doing, and that's awesome that they're trying to shine light on something that needs to be, have light shined on it. But the point that you bring up, Rod, honestly, is a good one. I never thought of it like that. I never looked at the numbers of it. You know what I'm saying? And it is kind of a drop in the bucket. And a lot of it is just for show. to be honest, but I kind of want to know where you think this can go. Will it affect the NFL season? There have been a couple, teams that said, even Pete Carroll said he would be behind players, if they said they wanted to skip a game. Do you think that's something that's possible?
I definitely think that, like I said, if you want to stand up for what's right, whether it doesn't matter what color you are, you know what I mean? We're all brothers and sisters at the end of the day. If you want to stand up for what's right, then you have that right to go and, protest or, do whatever you want to do. You have that right as an American, as a citizen, you have that right to do that. And I'm all for that if that's what you want to do. But when these athletes start bringing their money into it, and you want to still make your money, but you want to still be the guy that's in front of the camera trying to tell everybody you need to protest and do better, but you're making more money than the average American, then I feel like that's not really setting a good example. And a lot of people, like a lot of young kids, don't see that because they don't think about the money. They just think about this is my idol. I want to be idol. But I feel like when you're an adult, when you're our age, you look at it from the money standpoint, like, bro, you're making $30 million a year. Why are you crying about making money?
Right. Yeah, I agree. I mean, yeah, that's a pretty good point there too. I think with the NFL, because of the time frame of everything of happening right now with the NBA, the NFL and the different teams have a chance to kind of come up with plans. I know multiple teams have already done so. Rodney McLeod said that they were coming up with the plan. The Titans put out their statement saying that they're coming up with something that they want to do. So they have kind of like this leeway before the season starts to go out and protest or help out in any way that they can. I know some people say that maybe they should help fund lawyers for the victims and try to get some top-notch lawyers instead of just like public attorneys or something that will really help them out and stuff like that. So, I mean, those are cool creative ways, and I know that they must be coming up with something because otherwise they wouldn't just say these things. But I don't see the NFL really missing games. I feel like if COVID didn't stop them, I don't know if for the reasons of probably money, like you were saying, and all like that, I don't know if they're going to be willing to miss game checks for that as well, if they can come up with something now rather than later, since it's happening now before the season starts.
Man, when I noticed, I don't know if you saw this, but with the NBA going back to what they did as far as bringing awareness, I saw on ESPN they're making each NBA team's arena a voting area in November for their respected cities.
That's cool.
And then they're also having them do the voting campaigns, commercials throughout the NBA playoffs. So they kind of linked up in that 18 hours, so to speak, of them boycotting, and they came up with that plan. Hey, we're going to use the arena since we're not playing games for voting. So I think this whole thing is about them wanting everybody to vote and be involved to help at least start their equation of change. I don't think it's going to happen overnight, obviously, but I think what they did, even if it was for one day, kind of progress in the right direction. I mean, everybody that doesn't want to vote, how many people are probably going to go to the arena to vote to be like, oh, damn, I went inside where LeBron James plays at the Staples Center. I got to vote. You know what I'm saying? It's little things like that as a fan that's going to make you step in and vote just because LeBron James said it or George Hill
that's a good point.
Kawhi Leonard. So I think it goes a long way, and we just don't realize it, but I think it'll go a long way.
That's a good point. I never thought of that. I didn't even hear that, to be honest, but that's dope. Sure. If they do that in Tampa, I'm gonna go vote in the Bucs Stadium, see if I can see LaShawn McCoy. Talking about the Bucs and talking about contracts in general. Levante David, Jalen Ramsey, a couple of people talking about contracts. What do you guys think as far as, like we said, the COVID season is going to change a lot. You'll probably lose some money, obviously, without having fans. That's a big thing. What do you think about contracts this year? How is that going to change? Do you think it's going to change? Because the way I look at it personally, I feel like, especially like with college, a lot of the college, they're basically letting you carry over the year. You know what I'm saying? So like, hopefully we can keep Marquise Goodwin and just keep, his contract from this year since he opted out. And like, how do you think that's going to work? How do you want to see that work out?
Personally, I think it would be unfair if you don't carry everything over, because this is a pandemic and it was something that, we couldn't control. So it wouldn't be fair for the teams that have to still, pay out contracts for players, or, you know what I'm saying, not be able to keep players for an extra year based off of a season that was kind of botched due to a pandemic.
Yeah, you can go, Nate.
Well, I mean, we're talking NFL, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the season's going on, so in my opinion, you're still under contract. The only thing they missed was what? Training camp got postponed or pushed back, right? So
Yeah,
I
mean like the opt-outs, like the people that opt out. Because like Marquise Goodwin was on a 1-year contract.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay,
Yeah.
so with that being said, yeah,
still be able to honor the contract.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I think it should be honored, to be honest with you. I mean, this doesn't happen every day. You know what I'm saying? You kind of have to adjust to it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's exactly it. Key word is adjust. You're just going to have to adjust to it. You're going to have to make some different moves. If dudes decide to opt out to protect their family and everything like that, you can't hold that against them. They got the option. It's an opt out. They got the option to do it. So you can't hold that against them if they do. And next thing you know, a guy like Marquise Goodwin on a 1-year contract is not on a team next year because he decided to opt out. That's just not fair. So yeah, I mean, you're just gonna have to adjust. You're gonna have to move some things around to get these guys that opted out to get their money. Point blank, they got the money on teams. They can figure out. It's the NFL. They got money. They can figure it out.
Or at least give us our draft pick back, because we did give up a draft pick for him, and that's like
nah. Goodell need to keep that one.
Nah, they giving that back. So now, all right, now we had some fun. We talked about some trending topics. Let's get into the meat and bones of this, guys. Week 1 is coming up. All right, I want you to start, Nate, because you are the guest. I want you to what for your team at least. We want to start with the Cowboys versus Rams. What are the keys to victory for your Cowboys?
Man, to be honest with you, first of all, even if there is a preseason in general, I don't like the first 2-3 weeks of the season. I think it's like fool's gold, so to speak. Your team looks better than what they are. They look worse than what I mean, the Cowboys were 3-0, right, last year, and then we trended downward. But going into a year that we don't have preseason, we don't really see our rookies. We see them going 50, 60, 70% in practice. I think the first month of the season, man, is you don't know what you got until probably November, December comes around. Yeah. So let's say hypothetically the Cowboys week 1 win, which obviously as a Cowboys fan, I'm going to say they're going to win. And based on how we played the Rams last year, I won't be too excited about it because everybody's going to be rusty. And rusty, what I mean is game speed, right? We all know they're doing their thing out there, but game speed. The Rams and Cowboys could both put up 38, 40 points maybe. It might be a shit show for all we know. I mean, so, but I think the keys to victory, man, I think Lawrence need to show up in the passing game. He's always there in the run game. He's always disrupting, getting involved, getting his hands involved in the run game. But I would like to see the edge rusher set the tone for our DBs. Our offense is going to be there some way, somehow. They'll keep us in the game, but our defense is the key this year. I don't think we're going to have a great defense, but I think we need to be able to make stops at the right time. So if it's in the fourth quarter and the Rams are down by 10 and we need to slow them down, I need to see Griffin. I need to see that depth. Hopefully Alden Smith makes an appearance, right? And he comes on in with the athleticness and just disrupt and cause these guys to, Goff to throw the ball a little bit earlier. That's going to make our DBs look better.
Now, same question for you guys about the Cowboys, but more so from our perspective. What are you looking to see from the Cowboys that might get you nervous or might get you excited about them? What are you actually looking for in that game?
I think I want to see how they'll utilize CeeDee Lamb. I mean, he was the guy that I know us Eagles fans we wanted, and he got snapped up early in the first round, in the middle of the first round. So I definitely want to see. I definitely want to see how they manage giving him the ball while also feeding technically their 1 and 2s, which is Cooper, which is Gallup, and then you're gonna have to feed Zeke. So it's just like there's a lot of mouths to feed. So I mean, that could be good or bad. I mean, it is what it is. We'll find out. So I'm kind of interested to see that. Let's see, and maybe see how Blake Jarwin plays now that Witten's gone, so he gets his shine out there. But their defense is also questionable too. I mean, you paid Lawrence all this money, and he wasn't even a top defensive end last year. So it's kind of seeing if he can pull it back together, or maybe he worked hard, he got his money, and now he's chilling. I mean, hey, that could easily be it. Sometimes it'd be like that.
Hey, you do know that just because you're not in double-digit sacks doesn't mean you had a bad year. That everybody looks at defensive end and wants to look at the stat line for sacks right away. But we got to look at caused fumbles. We got to look at where he was at for tackles for loss. The dude did his thing in some of those categories, but the sexy category for defensive end is how many sacks did they have. So at the end of the day, your average fan is going to look at that.
My question is, if he did decent in those categories, is that still worth the amount that he got paid?
I mean, is anybody worth the amount anymore? In 5 years, 10 years, the defensive ends are going to get paid $30 million. Is that ever going to be worth it?
True,
I mean, that's kind of a open-ended question that we can go on about. You know what I mean? He set the market.
Days and days.
And it just so happens that it was a Cowboy that set the market. And you guys love it. That was a Cowboy that set the market for that.
How you feeling, Rob?
Honestly, man, I'm looking forward to seeing that offense. As much as I hate to say it, I mean, they got a lot of weapons. I'm curious to see how Mr. Prescott's gonna do. You know, everybody. They paid that man $31 million for what? What has he really done at this point that he deserves $31 million? I'm not saying it just because you went here, bro. I'm not saying that just because you're here. Like, let's be real. Like, they gave him $31 million, and he hasn't, he's won one playoff game. I mean, he got some weapons now. He's got CeeDee Lamb, so I'm curious to see how he's gonna distribute the ball between CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper and Zeke. Because last year it was Zeke and Amari Cooper. So now when you got CeeDee Lamb as another receiver, of course, it's going to take some of that double coverage off of Amari Cooper. So CeeDee's definitely going to get his shine. I'm just curious to see how they're going to incorporate the run and the pass game at the same time with so many weapons and so many, like you said, so many mouths to feed. Like, it's either going to go one way or another. It's either going to go really good or it's going to go really, really bad.
Yeah, my eyes are on Dak. I'm not going to lie. My eyes are definitely on Dak. No Travis Frederick, however you say his name, my eyes are on Dak. I've been on record saying that I feel like he's going to just crumble mid-year, being on that one-year deal, having no real confidence in what he's going to be. But that's not hating. That's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? But that is what I'm going to be watching, especially that first game. I want to see how he reacts, how the team reacts. And like you guys said, they do have a lot of weapons. So it should be fun to watch. And the Rams have, they got some offensive weapons. Unfortunately, they got Jared Goff. So, we'll see what they do. But so let's flip it up. Now, obviously, the Eagles play the Washington default skins, or, the no names, whatever you want to call them. We'll start with you, Brandon. What are you looking for out of the Eagles in that game? Do you think it's going to kind of mirror how it was last year where we had that slow start? What are some of the keys to victory in that for you?
I think, honestly, yeah. I think I feel like that's part of the Eagles' trend, is that whenever there's like a long break or anything like that, we end up starting off slow and then picking up in the second half. I drafted Deshaun Jackson late in my fantasy rounds, and I'm thinking of starting him this week just because early season Deshaun Jackson, I mean, that his only game last season was against the Washington no names, and he killed it. So I envision something very similar, maybe running the ball more with Miles Sanders. But it all depends on the offensive line, what's going to happen, what the lineup looks like. Are they going to be able to block the defensive line of the Washington team? Because let's be real here, Washington we can all admit, has a pretty, at least on paper, a pretty solid defensive line. So I'm looking at mostly the offensive line and seeing how Wentz does with like Deshaun Jackson, Rager, because Alshon's I don't think is going to play. So it's going to be kind of like the Deshaun Jackson and the young guys. It's going to be the new pop band.
The new pop band. How about you, Rod? We'll end it off with Nate. I want to let him get his shot.
I'm curious to see what our offensive line is going to look like, what the protection is going to look like. I'm hoping that we can still be healthy enough to play good through the season, because we don't want to run Miles Sanders like the Giants run Saquon, because then he's going to end up getting hurt. Then we're really going to have to rely on only the passing game. I'm also curious to see how Jalen Reagor is going to play, being incorporated into that offense, especially, Alshon's not going to be playing that first week. DJ, I think he's still kind of up in the air, kind of questionable right now, last thing I saw. But I'm looking forward to seeing how JJ Whiteside is going to pan out, and Quez Watkins. And I'm really curious to see how that secondary is going to look. I feel like that's our biggest issue. I'm curious to see what the secondary is going to look like, how they're going to play as far as, the speed and keeping up with some of these faster guys, and just going up with 50-50 passes and things like that. I'm very curious about that.
Man, I got, everybody's excited about Wentz coming back and everything, and he got a lot of weapons, man. The dude got an arm. He's talented dude. We all joke Dak Wentz, and we all give Eagle fans a hard time, but Wentz got an arm. He could play ball, right? I think what's scary for you guys is, and if this little report that he has this back tissue, whatever, you lost your left tackle, let's not forget about this Washington defensive line that they just put out there. And let's see if Wentz can survive week 1. And I don't mean that like in a bad way, but you just lost your left tackle. You got Peters that's like, man, I don't know if I'm going to wake up today and play on this side of the ball. Am I playing left tackle? I don't know where I'm playing at today. And if one of these dudes gets in on Wentz, I think that's something to look for. I want to see Miles Sanders get an opportunity to be that horse. I don't think they're giving him the opportunity, but Philly really doesn't do that. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. When was the last time you guys had a workhorse kind of running back?
You
guys
LaShawn McCoy.
Yeah.
And how long we had McCoy, we had a couple, Yeah, no, it's facts. That's true. Even when we had like Westbrook, you had Corral Buckhalter. When you had, McCoy, you had guys like what's the dude that couldn't hold the ball? I forget his name, but what was his name? Either way, we had Ronnie Brown, I think it was, or something like that. We had a couple of backups, but I understand what you're saying. We definitely Bryce Brown. There we go. Yeah, so we always had somebody that was backing him up. You know what I mean? But
I think too, the biggest thing for you guys that probably everybody's gonna be looking at is you guys just got your shiny new toy Slay, right? Let's see how he does matched up against what's his name for Washington, Scary Terry. That's what they call him over there.
Yeah,
Terry.
If Terry go out there 6 receptions, $110, a touchdown, that's gonna look like, man, we just paid this dude. He's supposed to be our number 1 corner. So I'm interested to see how that sets the tone for the season. Because Slay, y'all want to talk this junk that Slay be locking down Cooper and everything. So that's gonna set the tone right there.
I mean, Cooper doesn't have 99 speed on Madden like Terry McLaurin. I mean, I don't think Terry does have 99 speed, but you know what I mean. But that's a very good point, because Slay has been it's been a battle between him and DJ. You know what I'm saying, but I feel like when Slay's gotten beat, it's been kind of just straight getting burnt. So that is kind of concerning. I'm worried about our secondary. I'm excited to see our wide receiver core, because I feel like we have so many chefs in that kit right now. What round was? That's a good question. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with that wide receiver core, who fits in where. Like you said, if JJ is going to actually, become that guy. I'm not worried about Carson Wentz. I think Carson's going to be fine no matter who we have on that offensive line. I feel like we have some depth. I think a lot of people got nervous when we heard the whole Dillard thing, and now JP's kind of acting diva-ish. I hate to say it, but it is what it is. So, if he doesn't move over there, I still have full confidence in either Matt Pryor, I heard, has been moving over there a little bit, or even Jordan Mailata. So we'll see. I mean, I like what we have. I think we have a lot of youth, a lot of talent, but like you said, it might take a little while to get together. So I don't even know how to say stay H. That's, I guess, I don't know. He said, what should Miles Sanders be drafted? I got him I didn't get him. He went right before me in the second. like towards the first. Did you guys do any fantasy drafts? Did you see where Miles Sanders was going?
I grabbed him. I can't forget if I because I had the 12th overall pick, so I grabbed him and Devontae Adams. So I don't know. I forget if I grabbed Devontae first or Miles first and Devontae. It really doesn't matter. It's basically one pick because you're going back and back. So I've seen Miles Sanders pretty much in every mock draft I've done or talked to anybody. It's the bottom of the first round, early second round that I see Miles Sanders going. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, when it comes to fantasy, running backs are gold because there's only so many of them. Even though there's 32 teams, there's really maybe like 20 good ones, and then the rest are just kind of on teams that either have a committee or you just don't trust them. So I say Miles Sanders, bottom of the first, early second.
I say in my draft, he went like mid first round, so I would definitely say like that mid first, bottom of the first. If I could have taken him, I would have taken him, but somebody got him before me. I actually took Alvin Kamara first.
Someone took Sanders instead of Alvin Kamara. I mean, I obviously like that's dope, but like at the same time, it's like Alvin Kamara does it all.
That's like seeing your son win the science fair. Yeah, you're like, oh yeah, let's go, I feel like if you let people know that you're an Eagles fan, I'm sure it works with the Cowboys too. Even though I'm sure we're all smart as far as fantasy football goes, I'm sure we're all great at fantasy football, but we are all going to be homers at some point. And if it's 2 or 3 picks, I'm definitely going to pick one of my guys. You know what I'm saying? If it's a little early. But everybody just takes – Zach Ertz went literally right before my pick, and I'm pretty sure they did it on purpose. Like anybody you can think of, like they just swoop them up real quick just because. And then my boy says Cooper sucks. He's overpaid. I want to ask you a question. How do you guys plan on paying Dak? Let's get into it. Let's have some fun, man.
Oh my God!
Now. Let's have some fun. I'm not going to attack you. You know what I'm saying? I don't have any memes on me, Nate. So what do you see happening with Nate, man? Yeah, go ahead.
Make it a 2-part.
So what's the question?
The question is, how do you think the Cowboys are going to pay him? And the second question to follow up, since you're here, is do you feel like Dak's being a little selfish? Do you think that does it really make a difference of the couple of extra million a year compared to the whatever they're offering him? So there you go. Let's hear it.
Man, so the Cowboys got the money to pay Dak. We know that. Jerry can come up with his money wherever he wants. But the biggest thing is this. I don't think Dak is being selfish. The guy was a 4th-round pick. He was supposed to be Tony Romo's backup. He ends up getting a starting job because of an injury. Call it what you want, what you said earlier. He hasn't done anything, right? But I got some stats right here for you, right? Since 2016, he is the most rushing touchdowns by a quarterback with 19. You guys want to talk about, he chokes and doesn't do this and that. He plays for the Cowboys. He's got, 5-6 primetime games a year. He has the most primetime wins since 2016, since he's entered in. And then another little
that's by numbers. That's by numbers. You have the most, so I mean, it's kind of easier to win.
Okay,
that's not fair.
How's that not fair?
Because Dallas
Cowboys
get on.
You could lose those games.
Yeah, but if you're getting more opportunities to play those games compared to, let's say, the Browns.
So you're telling me if he had the Kirk Cousins stat, who was 8-0 on Monday Night Football, you're not going to bring that up about Dak Prescott?
Hell no. Kirk Cousins is trash too.
Okay,
dude, you're not going to sit here and defend Kirk Cousins. And you're going to play
no.
Because it's prime time.
I'm not
wins.
defending. No, I'm not. No, he hasn't won a prime time game. Yeah, no, he's 0-8.
0-8. Okay,
he hasn't won a prime time game. But I bet you if Dak had that kind of stat, y'all be quick to pop that one up on Google, right?
Yeah, definitely.
But hey, so listen, it's the market. Like we went back to with DeMarcus Lawrence, right?
Yeah,
he's not going to set the market. Mahomes set the market. Right.
Yeah.
But the dude went 13-3 his rookie year. If you look at his stats, he's gotten better every single year. He hasn't digressed at all. He hasn't gotten worse. Last year, he was, I think, 6 yards away from a franchise record in passing yards. You could say all you want. They trailed a lot of games. He had to throw the ball. Well, that's his job. If your team is losing, you got to bring your team back into the game, and that's what he did. He also has the most game-winning drives since 2016. So you could look it up, or he might be second or third. He might be tied, I think, with Drew Brees with 11 or 13 around there. But is he being selfish? I wouldn't say he's being selfish. The dude got paid $600,000 his first 4 years as a Cowboy. I think this year, or he was getting $2 million before this year. And he's getting all his money in endorsements. You wear the star on your helmet. You're the quarterback of the Cowboys, and you're getting paid $600,000. They're kind of using and abusing you, if you ask me. So go get your money. That's how I look at it.
I hear that.
And not to mention, he got a playoff win, right? Romo, and how many years did Romo play with the Cowboys? 10, 12 years? Romo got 2. He's been with the Cowboys for 4, and he already got 1. So you get what I'm saying? And he beat Russell Wilson, who's arguably – second, third quarterback. You could say he's right there, number 1, however you want to slice
That's
up.
definitely something we can't do. So I'll give you that one.
So I hate that people say Dak hasn't done anything, because if y'all remember when Eli Manning was drafted by the Giants, the dude was getting booed by the Giants his first 2 or 3 years. And now they want to think he's the best quarterback and he deserves to go in the Hall of Fame and this and that. He beat the Patriots. So it's unfair to Dak to say that he hasn't done anything.
See, my thing with Dak, and I do all the time, but I don't want to hate too much on Dak, because I do agree he's not, in my opinion, being too selfish. He's being a little bit unrealistic about how much he thinks he's really going to get, but I understand the security aspect of it. He does deserve it. He does deserve a contract. He is more than serviceable, and he's here behind the quarterback in our division. You know what I'm saying? He's just a little bit behind Carson Wentz, just maybe a lot behind, but it is what it is. He's a great quarterback. So my thing is, so let's ask this question, because everybody wants to ask you questions now, Nate. Hope you don't mind. So the overruling question is really, if if Dak has all those wins, doesn't Jason Garrett have all those wins? Isn't that make him the most winningest coach in Monday Night Football or whatever that was? Why let him go then? What was the excuse last year, I think, is the real question.
The excuse, man, listen, if y'all remember, I forget who we were playing, Jason Garrett finally went for it on 4th and 1. And it felt like almost like an iconic moment where we're like, okay, he finally grew the nuts to do this. Okay, let's go. and then it's like he forgot about it and just went back to Jason Garrett after that. So where I'm getting at is this. I think the biggest pickup of the offseason is Mike McCarthy, not even a player. And the reason why I say that is Jason Garrett was with the Cowboys for 9-10 years, longer than that if you want to count assistant, longer than that if you want to count him being on the team. He was a backup to Troy Aikman. So the guy never won as a coach. So when you're a player in that locker room and your goal is to win a Super Bowl, and let's say Jason Garrett was a 2nd or 3rd year coach, okay, you're growing with him. You understand that he's trying to get there with you. But when you're year 9, year 10, and you're preaching the same thing you've been preaching since day 1, and you have no rings, no playoff wins to show for it, the guys stop believing in you. So I think having a different voice in the locker room is going to take us to that next step. Because if y'all remember, Tony Dungy and the 01 Bucks built that team, and who won it? It was John Gruden in 02. So changing the coaches might be the biggest thing. I'm not a Jason Garrett fan. We all know we got to show face for our dudes. They wear the colors, we got to rep our team and everything. But Jason Garrett should have gone probably 3 years ago, realistically 3 years ago, in my opinion.
So you think Mike McCarthy is the biggest pickup for you guys? Do you think? Let me ask this question. Let's be honest. Let's be 100% honest. So he went from Aaron Rodgers, obviously, and now he's with Dakota Rain Prescott. He left Aaron Rodgers because per Aaron Rodgers, his playbook got stale. It was the same old same. What's to say that McCarthy will not just be Jason Garrett 2.0?
Well, I mean, all as fans, as normal local fans like us, right? All we could go by is what we read, see, Bleacher Report, all that stuff. Mike McCarthy took 2 years off of coaching? Is it 2? I think. he took off? So apparently he got his little super team together and they watched film. They started making new playbooks, new plays. He was starting to get more innovative with changing his style of play and everything. And if I'm not mistaken, when he was with Aaron Rodgers is a control freak. He wants to go to the line of scrimmage. He wants to audible. He wants to do all that. And that's what makes him so great, that he's able to do that, because not every quarterback can do that. So I think Dak isn't ready for that yet. It doesn't seem like it, or maybe he is, and we don't know because he hasn't been allowed to go ahead and control the game. And maybe Mike McCarthy and him are going to be on the same page, and he'll have more control over Dak, because let's just call it what it is. Dak ain't Aaron Rodgers. And at the same time, Dak ain't that cocky, arrogant Aaron Rodgers too. So maybe he's going to listen to Mike McCarthy, and be more open to what he's saying. Aaron Rodgers was kind of just stuck in his ways himself. I think it's a two-way marriage, if you ask me.
I can hear that. Now this one, we'll get off of Nate Dogg's back for a little bit. This one is actually going to be for Brandon, but I'm going to pose it to everybody. I want everybody to kind of chime in on this, and then we'll reverse it for you, Nate. We'll make it Wentz instead of Dak. So Jason says, y'all talk so much negative about Dak, but my question is for Brandon. If the Eagles picked up Dak off of free agency, will you still feel the same towards Dak?
And their answer is yes. I mean, if Dak is a free agent, that's because Dallas didn't re-sign him. And why would I get excited about signing someone that, especially in a quarterback, when everyone needs that starting quarterback if he's being let go? He's not coming in as a backup role. So we have Wentz, and if we didn't have Wentz, I mean, we're trying to groom Jalen Hurts to be that next guy. Hopefully, maybe we'll see. But I mean, we talk a lot of junk about Dak and everything like that. I do think he's a solid quarterback. I mean, you can't lie, try to be 100. He's a solid quarterback. He's done good things. The stats are there. The records are there. But I think right now that it's been 4 years of the Wentz versus Dak thing, because of the NFC East, everyone's kind of, at least in the East, has forgotten about Jared Goff. He's not even part of the equation. It's literally Dak versus Wentz in the NFC East. So to even think that he would be an Eagle kind of makes me sick. But it's mostly because of the rivalry. I couldn't picture Dak any other way, and if Dak's on another team, that's good for him. But it'd be tough. It'd be like asking prime Des Bryant if he was an Eagle. Like, it'd look weird. It just wouldn't sound right. But I mean, that's just my opinion. Obviously, if push comes to shove, things are different. I don't know. I'm not going to try to sit here and be optimistic that I'll be happy about it, but I'm just going to say, nah, I still would be talking junk and not happy about it.
How about you, Rod?
If it was for me, I think a part of me, like, I wouldn't be happy because, like Brandon said, like, he's a Cowboy. It's just the rivalry behind it. It's like if Des Bryant came to the Eagles, I would be like, I'm like, why? Like, he played for the Cowboys. We don't need him over here. It's just a rivalry thing. But if you look at his stats and everything, he's a solid quarterback. He's a good quarterback. His stats are pretty decent. So I'm not going and he's behind one of the best lines in the NFL. So, I feel like that definitely helps out a lot. If he came to the Eagles, would I be mad? I wouldn't be so mad. I would probably just look a little bit more at the positive things about him now that he is an Eagle quarterback. You know what I mean? But as long as he's on the Cowboys, bro, I'm sorry, Nate, but I just it's the rivalry, bro. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Hey, and if Wentz came to the Cowboys in free agency, this is what it's going to look like right here. All right? This is exactly what it's going to look like right here. You see Wentz's little face right here? There you go. That's exactly
he had that in the back.
Yeah, he's been waiting to put that.
He had that ready. He had that ready.
I've been waiting. That's
that's like those battle raps when they pull it out the packet.
Let's talk about something here. We talk about Dak hasn't, but my thing is this: what has Wentz done? We keep harping on what, and correct me if I'm wrong on the years. Was it 2017? He was in the MVP running and he got hurt, right? Is that 2017?
Yeah.
And then you guys keep saying he went 11-2. what frustrates me is this. Okay, let's just call it what it is, right? Let's just take our fandom out of the equation right now. We all played sports, I'm sure, some way, somehow, a certain level, whether it was high school, college, whatever it is. If you were a significant part of your team and you got hurt and you ended up missing a bunch of time and your team won the championship, you are going to feel like you did not help in winning your team a championship. So when I talk to Eagle fans and they say, oh, Wentz has a ring and Dak doesn't, that is the weakest response as in a fan argument I can ever. I don't even like talking about it anymore. It's getting so old and played out. Not even Wentz himself feels like he has.
My thing with Wentz is, all right, yeah, 2017. Even, and I've said this to you before. If you take out 2017, you still just see the talent. What he's been able to do with the teams that's been around him. If you look at that when he was a rookie, if you can name one of those wide receivers other than Jordan Matthews, I would literally cash app you $20. Like, dude, we did not have anyone. We had no receivers. We get Alshon Jeffrey. You see what he get Alshon Jeffrey and Torrey Smith. Torrey Smith's not playing for an NFL team right now. And you saw what he did with Torrey Smith. Yes, we won the Super Bowl. It is what it is. That's probably, and my boy Bashir is in here. Shout out to him. He said it the other day. That's probably the worst thing that had happened to Wentz as far as his legacy right now. You know what I'm saying? Until he wins one, it is what it is. And it looks like Jalen Reagor just went down. He's in pain. Great. Uh-oh. So that's awesome. But anyways, either way, that's really what it is. And this is a good example. He deals with so much adversity or injuries or whatever you want to call it. It's hard to really compare someone that had no 500-yard wide receivers to someone who had 3 damn near 1,000-yard receivers plus a top 3 running back plus a top 3 offensive line. You know what I'm saying? It's plus an offensive-minded head coach. So I mean, we do too as well. Don't get me wrong, but
my thing is, that's a part of football, though. You can't blame Dak.
Yeah, but you have to
for the man.
You have to use it,
putting a team around him.
But you have to use that in the equation.
Right.
You can't add 1 + 1 and forget that there was a whole another 1 over there. You know, it's still 3 at the end of the day.
Bro, my thing is this. It's the fact that Wentz can't stay healthy. I think it was 9 games, 8 games, 5 games. He misses, like, I don't know, the first snap or whatever, first possession of the playoff game. It's almost laughable to me that Wentz and Dak are even in the same equation because of the health. I'm not saying Dak is far superior talent-wise. Honestly, you want me to be real with you, Wentz is more talented than Dak. But I think Dak has better intangibles. I think Dak, at the end of the day, I think he thrives in the moment. And we can laugh and talk what happened week 16 and what this and that and all this or whatever. I truly believe, and you can call me biased as a Cowboys because I don't like the Eagles. I forgot who was on y'all show last week, the other dude, right? This is the thing that stood out to me. He said that the Eagles are built for contending. And honestly, call me crazy, I think that's false. You guys build your team to tread water, and you guys in the last 3 or 4 years, y'all success is built off of miracles. Let's call it what it is.
How our defense was a top 5 defense that 2017 year. We were a top 3 running team that 2017 year. We won with a backup, yes, but if to say that it's a miracle is a bit of a stretch.
Okay, so the reason why I say that is miracles happen, right? Because you got to say it's a miracle when your franchise number 2 overall pick goes down. I'm talking about your Super Bowl year, and you're like, oh fuck, like we're about to get bounced in this first round. Okay, then you win the first round. Nick Foles saves the day. All right, fuck. Then round 2, we done for. Every Eagles fan thought that, and if you thought that Nick Foles was going to come in there and save the day, you're wrong. You know that.
Our defense won those first 2 games. If we're being 100% honest, our defense won us those first 2 games.
No
won the
Eagle
Super Bowl.
fans ever says that. No Eagle fan ever said. They just say Nick Foles, Nick Foles, Nick Foles. So whatever, that's that. Then they want to talk about Week 16. You guys can chop it up, and y'all, the Cowboys and Eagles can play Week 16 10 times, and the Eagles will probably win that game 2 or 3 times. That was a miracle game. That was a miracle game.
I mean,
Y'all know it.
It was a two out of. It was a choke. It was a miracle choke by Dak Prescott. You want to talk about the games that we win or the games that we lose and the games that you lose. Dakota Prescott does not throw touchdowns when you guys lose. When we lose, our defense can't tackle or Nelson Aguilar can't catch.
So are we going to act
because he didn't throw a touchdown against backup?
Are we going to act like that we can't stop a running game? Are we going to act like our defense wasn't trash last year either? Like what I'm getting at is he isn't the only player on the Dallas Cowboys.
You gave up 17 points.
Right. Yeah, that's a good defensive play.
I'm talking about generally speaking. I'm not specifically talking about that game, but I'm talking about in general. He isn't the only reason why we lose a game.
Yeah, so I hear what you're saying, but you can't really classify those as miracles. Let's be real here. I mean, miracles to me, at least me personally, is when the Vikings won the game in the playoffs where they all of a sudden didn't know how to tackle someone in the air and they just let Stephon Diggs run in for a touchdown. That is a miracle. A miracle is when
you had a miracle run, I should say. Miracle run.
The Eagles are down 31-10 against the Giants, and all of a sudden we come back to Deshaun Jackson with a punt return touchdown to win the game. That's a miracle. But when you're putting together game after game after game and you're winning these games, it's not a miracle at that point. That, if anything, that's good coaching, putting players in positions to win. You can't call that a miracle. A miracle is something that happens in that moment.
So you're telling me
preparation and hard work, that's not. I mean, that's just preparing well and playing good.
So you're telling me that when Wentz went down your Super Bowl year, one of you guys thought that you guys had a shot to go to the Super Bowl?
I'm gonna be honest with you, bro.
Probably not.
Yeah,
but I mean, at the same time, once we got to the playoffs, I wasn't like, "Oh, we're gonna lose every game." I was there, like, "Oh, we got this." Oh shit! Oh fuck, we won. Like, but I wasn't there saying we're gonna lose every single game each time. Go ahead, Rod.
What?
Yeah, I have confidence in my team every year. I always say we going to the Super Bowl. I always say that. I stand on that. When we don't go, then I'll stop saying it then. But until then, you ask me, we're going to the Super Bowl. So, yes, I had that confidence in Nick Foles. Did I have as much confidence as I would have had in Carson Wentz? No, but I still had confidence that we were going to go to the Super Bowl, and we did that. Now, would Nick Foles have done that if he had to play the whole season? No. We probably wouldn't have went to the Super Bowl if Nick Foles was our starting quarterback that 2017 year. If it wasn't for Carson Wentz playing the way he was playing, putting people in position to go 11-2 before he went out, we would have never even been in the run to even have that bye week so Nick Foles can be prepared to play the next 2 or 3 games that he might have had to play.
So let me ask you this then. Kind of go, since we're on this Wentz kind of Dak topic, what does Dak need to do to get your fan approval? Don't say as an Eagles fan, because I know you naturally want Dak to do bad, but for you to be like, man, you know what? That's a good quarterback. Like right now, I get the vibe that he's an okay quarterback. Like he's all right, but what does he need to do for you to be like, all right, you know what? That's that dude right there, and we don't want to play him on Sunday. I don't get it. What else does he need to do?
I mean, in my opinion, I would like to see some adversity. I'm not saying that I want your players to go down and get hurt. I mean, it is what it is. You're, like you said, management built a good team. You guys drafted Ezekiel Elliott. You guys built an offensive line over the years of drafting first-round linemen, and you got Cooper. You re-signed Cooper. Gallup he's a pretty good dude. So you can't fault Dak for having a good team. I mean, it is what it is. Management built it. But definitely would like to see, like, if a Cooper and Gallup go down, what would Dak do? The games that Zeke wasn't playing, I don't remember what your record was. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like you guys struggled a little bit when Zeke wasn't playing those 6 games or whatnot.
Are you talking about when he was suspended?
Yeah, I don't know what your record was. Was it good?
I think we went 3-3 or something like that.
Yeah, you guys are 4-4 without Zeke right now. Yeah, you're 4-4 without Zeke.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's just like kind of trying to see the adversity. Like I said, I'm not trying to ask for anyone to get hurt or anything like that. But just to see, like, so then you can at least have on your or on Dak's resume is like, yeah, you guys keep saying all this, but then when his receivers went down or blah blah blah, he was still winning games and still putting up numbers and stuff like that. I mean, I guess that's my opinion.
For me, I'm kind of like you, Brandon. I want to see him get over that hump. I want to see him get through some adversity. I want to see what he would do if his star players go down. How would he be able to adjust? Because like we said earlier, in the NFL, it's all about adjusting. And I feel like when it comes to making adjustments during the game, I feel like Carson Wentz is better at making adjustments. That's my take on Carson Wentz versus Dak. I feel like Carson Wentz is a better leader than Dak. Not saying that Dak is not a good leader. I'm not taking that away from him at all. But I feel like, there's times where he should be like, this is my team. This is what we're going to do. And you can literally look at the game and you can see him looking at the sidelines like he's waiting for somebody to tell him to do this or to do that, where, it's your team. If you want to be considered like an Aaron Rodgers or a Russell Wilson, I'm pretty sure 9 times out of 10, Pete Carroll isn't telling Russell Wilson what to do on 3rd and 7 or on 4th and 2. You know what I mean? Russell is going in there and saying, this is what we're doing because they have that trust in him. And I feel like for me, maybe that's what I feel like for me, I don't think the coaches have shown that much trust in Dak as an elite quarterback. I don't think it's his game personally, because he's a good quarterback. He's got good numbers, and it's on paper, so we all know that. But I don't think his coaching staff has really gave him the green light to really lead the team like a quarterback.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Now, yeah, I agree with all of y'all. I feel like the overall consensus really is we know that Dak is a good quarterback, but he's surrounded with so much talent that it's really hard to say that he's that guy. Whereas when you look at what Wentz has and what he's surrounded with, it's kind of apparent he's the only guy on that field really doing anything. I mean, as far as that offense goes, we wouldn't have. Don't get me wrong. Miles Sanders broke out last year, had a great year. Obviously, we have probably the best tight end duo in the NFL. Other than that, though, that's all we have. Now, this was a good right here. I like this, so we're going to use it. My boy Y Sway said, Wentz is better than Dak. You said it yourself, Nate, when you were talking about DeMarcus Lawrence stats. DeMarcus Lawrence stats. So do stats only matter when it benefits your argument? Game film doesn't lie. Stats do. It's very true. It's very true.
So
it's hard to and go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
And that's why I said, are you good? And that's why I said it's hard to really look at the stats and look at what Dak does. A lot of that was garbage time, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, a lot of it wasn't just him. When you look at those comebacks and you look at, them more in depth, look at how many times Zeke went over 110 yards. Look at how many times, this happened or that happened. It's not always Dak. Right? With Wentz literally could have just given up in the Washington game when we gave up that late touchdown, could have gave up against the Giants. The Falcons, we basically lost because of the defense. I mean, there's so many different times that it was just Wentz out there. So I think that's a big difference for me, at least.
So where I'm getting from, well, at least from Brandon and facing adversity, it's kind of that I hope it never happens, right? I hope our guys never go down like that. What is the chances of that happening? I mean, shit, it could happen right now in the off season. But for people to say, "Oh, he needs to lose all his key pieces," I mean, that's realistically not going to happen. Right. He isn't going to lose Zeke, Coop, and Gallup all at the same time. Knock on wood, right? Knock on wood. So I think it's unfair to say that that's the only way he can earn, the next level status, whatever that might be, to an Eagles fan or to any normal fan, in my opinion. But going back to what you said, I said it when I was talking about Aaron Rodgers. I don't think the Cowboys give Dak all the reins to go to the line and call an audible. I think the only time that he's allowed to call it is when he does that kill, what Romo did for all these years. And if I know what kill means, the defense knows what kill means. I mean, you're telling your receiver we're not doing the pass and I'm giving it to Zeke. That's like 99% of the time. So I feel like Mike McCarthy and him are going to have a better or at least we hope they're going to have a better relationship, and he's going to give them more of the offense. Hey, go to the line of scrimmage. Read if it's 3rd and 6. Read your linebackers. Are they blitzing? Call your audibles. Take control of the team. This is year 5 for you. It's time to go. Mm. That's how I look at it.
Now let me ask you a kind of a weird question. Would you rather lose Dak or lose Amari, Zeke, and your weapons, so to speak? Do you think if you couldn't pay your weapons like Zeke and Amari and all them, that Dak would be the guy you would rely on, or would you rather lose Dak and have to go find another rookie quarterback?
Man, growing up as a Cowboys fan, and after Troy Aikman, and we had the Drew Bledsoe and the Vinny Testaverdes and then the Quincy Carters of the world, I would want to keep Dak because he's solid, right? He's good. I'm not going to say he's not elite. We all know he's not elite. That would just be in my fandom talking if I said he was elite. It's hard to go find a quarterback. Look at Nick Foles. Yeah. Jacksonville thought that, hey, he just won a ring. Let's go get Nick Foles. And now, look, he's a journeyman all over again, right? So running backs are replaceable, right? You guys have shown it time and time again. You can plug and play a running. New England is a perfect example as plug and play. Receivers are easier, right? We've seen a lot of bust receivers. So if Amari went down, we have Gallup to replace him or vice versa. And then you got CD Lamb. So I think if I had to pick between Zeke and Dak long-term wise, the shelf life on a running back is a lot shorter. I'd rather go find a new running back or put Tony Pollard, if I don't know how you're asking it. If I didn't have Tony Pollard, I'd rather go find a new running back. But if I have Tony Pollard, I would let Zeke walk and keep Dak if I had a pick.
Yeah. I kind of wanted to just bring up a quick point is that if you look at like the elite quarterbacks, like that pedestal above like the Wentz, Dak and all that is like the Aaron Rodgers, the Tom Brady's, if you look at their all-stars and everything like that, I mean, they've never really had like an abundant amount of all-stars. And I feel like that's why you can put those guys on tier ones because they've been able to make things happen and look like out of this world quarterbacks with not that many superstars on the team. Not saying that everyone on Dallas is a superstar, but I'm just saying, like, I think that's how you can also rate, like, put them on the higher pedestal than like our quarterbacks who still have a lot to prove and everything like that.
And, man, you can't knock it. Wentz has done a great job of what he's gotten. The thing is, at the end of the day, the biggest asset as a professional athlete is availability. If the dude could stay healthy for the whole year in the playoffs, if anybody says that he wouldn't be – I mean, he's a top 10. You can plug and play. I know we can go from like 8 to 12. You can mix and match and move guys in and out, however you want to line it up. But if Wentz played a full 16 games plus playoffs, I think Wentz could be a top 6 quarterback in the league. I really do. He is good. But at the end of the day, that's who Carson Wentz is. He just isn't going to wake up tomorrow. He's not getting healthier is what I'm getting at. Like, look at all the players that stayed hurt. When do they just get hurt, and then they just magically go on a 2-3 year run of not getting hurt? It doesn't happen. Look at Sean Lee of the Cowboys. That dude, I mean, I don't even know where to begin with Sean Lee. That's a whole other topic, but he himself can't stay healthy. So I just think it's a trend. Once you're injury prone, you're just injury prone. There's nothing else you could do about it. And that's going to hurt Carson Wentz's legacy, if you want to call it a legacy, because right now it's how much time are the Eagles giving you right now? That's Carson Wentz, in my opinion.
Well, the good thing is, apparently, according to a lot of Cowboys fans, Jalen Hurts is the next becoming. So, we should be all set. I think a lot of times, Eagles and Cowboys fans get into the argument of, versus Dak, and it's a great argument. It's a fun argument. But at the end of the day, I think the Eagles showing win it without Carson is just fine with the Eagles fans. You know what I'm saying? I think we'll take that. With that, but I'm going to start winning this. I want to ask one final question for everybody. Right? Made it So it's almost over. So with week 1 coming, I want Redskins score prediction from Ben and Rod, and then I want you to give me your Dallas versus Rams prediction, Nate. And then Nate, also give me your Super Bowl prediction, and we'll close it out like that.
So what was the question? You were kind of glitching out there.
So Brandon, you want to start it off?
What was the question?
My bad, Brandon. So I need Washington versus the Eagles. Washington versus the Eagles. What's your prediction score-wise?
I have the Eagles beating Washington. Let's call it 28-21.
Okay. How about you, Rod?
I got the Eagles winning. I would say 17-7. I think Washington get a touchdown. I think our offense is probably going to start off a little bit slow at first, but I think towards the second half, of course, we'll start to mesh and get things going. But I think Washington might get one touchdown up, but that's it.
And Nate, how about you for the Cowboys, though? What do you think about your Cowboys week 1?
Man, I think it go either way because our defense is suspect right now. At least our from the linebacker depth to the defensive backs. But I think the Cowboys are going to win. I think it's a 33-14 game. I think we put up the points. The Rams don't have a running back identity. They got the receivers out there. We got a new, fresh pass rushers. So I think we cause some havoc and we see what our new toys do.
And what are you thinking about Super Bowl? Who would your 2 Super Bowl picks be?
My non-biased Super Bowl pick, I'm always gonna say the Cowboys, right? But if I'm not picking the Cowboys, right, I'm gonna say representing the NFC, I think Seattle, and then in the AFC, I think you can't go against the Chiefs, man. I mean, until proven otherwise,
right?
I mean, I know that's the easy pick in the AFC, but that's just kind of what it is.
Yeah, I picked the Chiefs too. So I mean, if you're putting money up, you gotta go with the smart one. So, all right, guys, we still got like 10 people in here. I appreciate all you guys that have rocked with us. We are going to be taking off. You know what I'm saying? Good luck to Nate for coming in here, being a good sport, having some fun with us. And Rod, can you stand up real quick? Just show them what you got on.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So the shirts are out. So if you guys, are interested, just hit me up on Instagram at PhillyPhillyTP. Other than that, you know what time it is. Fly, Eagles, fly. We out.
Wentz you later.
Peace.
All right, later, guys.
All right, bro.
Peace, bro. Peace.